The Arctic is heating up, and Greenland stands ready to defend its frozen fortress. You need to see every weapon on this list to understand the total defense strategy that could be deployed. Let's break down the arsenal. We're starting with combat and strike aircraft. F-16 Fighting Falcon. These legendary American-made jets would be Denmark's first line of defense for Greenland's airspace. Fast, agile, and battle-tested across decades of service. When tensions rise over Arctic territories, these proven warriors dominate the skies. Saab JAS 39. Gripen. Swedish engineering at its finest, designed specifically for quick scrambles in harsh conditions. Operating from minimal infrastructure in sub-zero temperatures? No problem. These multi-role fighters adapt to Arctic warfare like few others can. C-130J Super Hercules. Heavy lifting through blizzards and whiteout conditions makes this workhorse absolutely essential, transporting troops and supplies to remote airstrips carved from ice. The backbone of Arctic logistics when roads don't exist. Challenger 604. Long-range maritime patrol adapted for surveillance missions over endless ice sheets, monitoring vast territories where threats could hide for weeks. Eyes in the sky protecting vulnerable coastlines constantly. Now let's examine special mission aircraft. EH-101 Merlin. Search and rescue operations in Arctic conditions demand serious capability and reliability. These helicopters brave extreme weather that grounds everything else, saving lives in the world's harshest environment regularly. AS-365 Dauphin. Smaller and nimbler for coastal patrol missions along Greenland's fractured shoreline, checking remote settlements and monitoring ice flows efficiently. Perfect size for tactical flexibility in tight situations. Moving to our rotary wing assets. AW-101 Merlin. Heavy lift capacity meets Arctic durability in Danish military service, deploying rapid reaction forces to threatened positions across frozen terrain. The rotor wash creates miniature blizzards during landing operations. Bell 412. Proven reliability transporting personnel between scattered defensive positions throughout the island. Twin engines provide safety margins over frozen seas. Crews depend on redundancy when rescue is hours away. MH-60R Seahawk. Anti-submarine warfare capabilities protecting approaches through Davis Strait and Denmark Strait. Hunting threats beneath Arctic ice sheets requires specialized equipment. These naval helicopters bring serious ASW punch to the fight. Next up, unmanned aerial vehicles. Scan Eagle. Launched without runways, perfect for Greenland's limited infrastructure and dispersed operations. Long endurance missions monitoring ice pack movements and approaching vessels. Small UAVs delivering huge tactical awareness constantly. Skeldar V200. Swedish innovation providing persistent surveillance in brutal Arctic winds and sub-zero temperatures. Automatic flight systems work when human pilots can't, technology bridging the gap across vast distances efficiently. Let's examine the naval component. Thetis-class patrol vessels. Purpose-built for Arctic operations with reinforced hulls breaking through ice flows. Danish engineering designed specifically for Greenland's territorial waters. These ships are home in conditions that sink others. Knud Rasmussen-class patrol vessels. Smaller and more agile for navigating between icebergs in narrow fjords and inlets, monitoring fishing zones and intercepting unauthorized vessels constantly. The perfect size for Greenland's complex coastline challenges. Ivar Huitfeldt-class frigates. Serious firepower projection with advanced air defense systems protecting the fleet. Modern warfare requires modern ships, and these Danish frigates deliver first-rate capability. Aegis-type combat systems tracking everything simultaneously. Now for undersea capabilities. Attack-class submarines would operate beneath Arctic ice, gathering intelligence on enemy movements undetected. Silent running in freezing waters requires specialized training and equipment. Deterrence through invisible presence under the ice pack. Moving to coastal defense systems. Harpoon missile batteries. Ship-killing capability deployed along strategic choke points throughout Greenland's fjord systems. These American-made missiles sink threats before they reach shore. Range and precision making coastal approaches extremely dangerous. NASAMS air defense. Norwegian advanced surface-to-air missile systems protecting critical installations from aerial attack. Radar coverage filling gaps across impossible terrain. Integrated networks creating overlapping fields of fire automatically. Let's examine artillery and rocket systems. M109 self-propelled howitzers. Mobile firepower supporting defensive positions across tundra and ice fields efficiently. These American-made systems deliver devastating bombardment on demand. Armor protection, keeping crews safe during counter-battery fire. Nexter Caesar. French engineering providing rapid deployment artillery on truck chassis for maximum mobility. Racing to threatened sectors across ice roads and frozen ground. Fire missions completed, then disappearing before retaliation arrives. M777 lightweight howitzers. Helicopter portable for reaching positions that vehicles can't access in mountainous terrain. American titanium construction reduces weight dramatically without sacrificing firepower, essential for vertical envelopment tactics in Arctic mountains. Now infantry weapons and equipment. C-8 carbines. Canadian-made rifles perfect for Arctic warfare with cold weather reliability and compact size. Special forces operators depend on these weapons in sub-zero conditions. Proven performance when everything else freezes solid. M72 Law. Light anti-tank weapons giving infantry serious punch against armored threats approaching across ice. Simple, reliable, devastating at close range. Every squad carries these American-made equalizers religiously. Carl Gustaf recoilless rifle. Swedish multi-role weapon system engaging everything from bunkers to helicopters with different ammunition. Versatility meets stopping power in harsh conditions. Crews train constantly for rapid target engagement. Moving to armored and utility vehicles. Piranha Vai. Swiss 8-wheeled infantry carriers, modified for Arctic service with extreme cold packages. Transporting troops safely across frozen wasteland under armor protection. Mobility meeting survivability in modern design. BVS-10 all-terrain vehicles. Articulated tracked vehicles conquering snow, ice, and tundra, where wheeled vehicles fail completely. Swedish design specifically for Arctic and sub-Arctic operations. Nothing else moves troops and supplies this effectively. HMMWV. Legendary American utility vehicles adapted for Arctic service supporting operations everywhere. Versatile platforms handling countless roles across diverse mission requirements. The backbone of tactical mobility in Greenland. Finally, logistics and support systems. Arctic warfare training. Specialized cold weather training facilities preparing troops for combat in extreme conditions year-round. Soldiers learning survival skills that save lives when equipment fails. Experience counts when temperatures drop below -40. Pre-positioned supply caches. Strategic stockpiles scattered throughout Greenland, providing ammunition, fuel, and supplies to dispersed forces. Redundancy, ensuring operations continue despite supply line disruptions. Planning ahead wins Arctic campaigns decisively. Greenland's defensive strategy relies on geography, harsh climate, and strategic partnerships, deterring aggression effectively. Limited population and infrastructure require smart deployment of available military assets. The Arctic fortress strategy turns environmental challenges into defensive advantages. Every weapon serves a specific purpose in protecting sovereignty across the world's largest island. Preparation and adaptation are key to Arctic defense operations' success.